Okay, so we're back on episode 2 of the Verani Vault. We're here again with Mary Keegan, our Bedford office regional manager, and we're going to jump right into episode 2, which is the second stage of this discussion, which is prospecting. We went through the bio. Now let's spin it off into prospecting. And
Right.
where do you want to go, Mary?
I mean, we're in the spring market, and if you haven't been doing this, you need to get on it immediately. Like I said in the last one, I'm all about this optimizing the bio and using AI for your listing descriptions. Now let's take a little pause and get back to what real estate is. Prospecting, prospecting, prospecting. Prospecting can mean different things to different people. One of the things we did in the first quarter is a lot of the agents sent out St. Patrick's Day cards with scratch tickets, right? Well, there was a reason for that, because you can call the person and say, hey, did you win? Right? Because the goal of prospecting is to be able to have a conversation with somebody. Don't ignore your sphere of influence, your clients, the people that you've closed transactions with. They are your greatest form of referrals, right? And being top of mind, sometimes we just get so busy and we don't touch base. That was a wonderful way for a lot of the agents, and several of them did it. Some sent out baseball cards for the first time. Guess what? It's opening season. Didn't we just have opening night? Wasn't it opening night?
A couple weeks ago, yeah.
Yeah, well, first home game, though, it was just like last week. Hey, what'd you think? I tried this year because, the Sox have been hot. What do you think about it? There's a reason for a conversation. So when you do these mailers, when you touch your sphere, and when your clients, when you touch them, the reason why you're doing it is not to just mail something out. It offers an easy call to touch base, right? Another way to do it is I had an agent, I think I mentioned him last one, Anthony. He sent out, I have moved, to everybody he sold a house to, or anybody he has sold their house, and all of the people in his sphere of influence. And then he called them. Yep. Did you get my letter? Right? So if you're going to do this hard...
So he didn't move from one house to the next. He moved from one brokerage to the next.
To the best brokerage, right? He moved here, and he would tell you that too, to Berkshire, Hathaway, HomeServices, Verani Realty. And he was excited about that. But there was a reason. An experienced agent's going to know that, Go touch everybody. Hard copy so that you can make a phone call. It's very, very, very important. One of the things that we picked up is a new prospecting idea, again, from Jimmy Burgess. He brought it up in the January 14th in-person meeting. I hear he's coming back again.
In October, yeah.
Yay!
Yeah. Rajiv in June and Jimmy in October.
That's wonderful. Yeah. And watch those masterminds on Fridays. Watch those masterminds.
They're gems, yeah.
There hasn't been one.
And even if you don't have the time on Friday, those are all on his YouTube channel as well.
There's always one idea. Because the thing, and I know, I was a very busy agent too. It's so easy I don't have time for that. I have appointments. There's always one thing that you can do and execute, do it. What I loved is that, did you hear about your neighbor letter? Yeah. And everything that Jimmy brings up in those masterminds are not opinions like, oh, I think if you tried to do this, it may work. There's things that other agents, successful people have done that they've gotten reaction to. Ghislaine in my office sold a beautiful house in Candia last year. Here's the other thing that we're very nervous about. That closed in August. Who cares? Who cares that it closed in August? In the mind of the non-real estate public, the neighbors, they say, oh, I remember such and such sold.
Oh, I get it. So you're saying
go back
in your older transactions, but don't necessarily think of them as older transactions.
Exactly, because the people that live in that neighborhood don't. Yeah. And it says, did you hear about your neighbor? And when you open the letter, I love it, and I think we're going to have this on the screen when you guys actually publish this podcast. You open it up, did you hear about your neighbor, 142 Flint Road, Candia, New Hampshire. This is a beautiful prospecting tool because it tells a story. Storytelling. We keep talking about that, storytelling. There's so many houses. You know this. You're on the planning boards. You're involved in the state. Part of our problem with the lack of inventory is people haven't moved.
Right.
They haven't moved. And if you've lived in a house for 30 years and have not been involved in selling a house in 30 years, the world has changed. It's intimidating. It's unnerving. But here it says, here's the story. Your neighbor called us, and Gil tells the story. A friend connected us with the seller of 142 Flint Road. Their top priority, get the highest possible sale price for their home. They trusted us to deliver, and we went to work. Strategy first, showing second. Before listing, we developed a tailored marketing plan that showcased the home's unique features and Candia lifestyle, ensuring every showing was a serious, qualified buyer. And I can go on, but it's storytelling. And a lot of times this is a nice, softer way to explain this is how we approached it. This is what we did step by step. And in this one, I love how she says overcoming obstacles. Because what transaction doesn't have an obstacle? Those are the ones that don't have obstacles we should celebrate because they're rare. With the sellers moving out of state prior to closing, they placed their trust in me to ensure their home was well cared for and that the transaction proceeded smoothly. Through close coordination and constant oversight, we arranged a seamless mail-away closing, ensuring the transaction was completed without incident. I didn't go over the tailored marketing. I don't want to just read things aloud, but I'll read this one. The record-breaking result. One of only 4 homes to sell for over $1 million in Candia in recent years. The property received 4 offers and ultimately sold at a price that exceeded the seller's expectation. Tells the story. There were problems. This is what our marketing plan was. And then there's a call to action. Do you have a similar goal? Let's chat. Try it. This costs nothing. And
that template, you have to modify it for every transaction, right? And tell your own unique story. But that template's available
on Canva. Anna created that right after we got out of Jimmy's meeting. I'm like, can we get that template?
Great.
And Anna created it on Canva so everybody has access to it. All you're doing is printing a piece of paper, putting it in an envelope, and putting a stamp on it. So use these creative ideas that we're getting from Jimmy and from our agents across the country that they're getting results. She mailed this out to 100 people.
That's what I was going to ask next. What are your parameters for getting this out? I mean, like, who do you send it to? Is it geographic farming?
In this particular the situation, and this was more prospecting because it was prospecting based on a sale, just like you have just listed postcards, just sold postcards, what have you. This is a different approach to that, and Gil mailed that out to the 100 homes that were closest to the subject property that sold.
Okay. So it's like a spinoff of, saying a just listed, just sold card, which is traditionally what we always did, but this goes into a little bit greater detail and really makes her star shine, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it makes it less intimidating to this owner that may have owned that house for 30 years. What do I do? Where do I start? Are they trying to take advantage of me? How do I choose somebody?
Yeah. So just for the agent that doesn't know, is there a simple way to use our systems to get this out to, like, drop a pin here and get that out to 100 people?
Yeah, there's a couple of different ways. A lot of people are using CRS now to get those addresses.
Mm-hmm.
Jessica is really good at this, and so she's been trying. And I think Amanda up in Concord too have said that they feel that CRS gets the best for something like this, which is a mailer. If we're doing a postcard, that's super easy from the resource center. I don't list a lot of houses, but I still put my foot in the water a little bit, and I just listed one and did just listed postcards all by myself yesterday, and that went through Express Docs, and we just did geographic.
Yeah.
Right there, boom, boom, done.
And we're using a lot of terminology that is Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices Verani specific. and it is our resource center is our Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices Resource Center.
Right.
And that is where that's our so-called internet that we go to, that all of our tools are right there at your fingertips in one awesome place. So for those of you that don't know what a resource center is, that's
And
what it is.
you should know if you work for our wonderful company. That is a big thing. So prospecting.
Yeah. So when it comes to prospecting, what else do you do?
Okay, so you reach out to your sphere, your clients. So this first step was there. Now we are working on some of the agents, not all, but some of the agents are going to the second step. This is great also for inexperienced agents. Seed packets, right? It's spring. You love growing things. I love growing things.
Yeah, my
right?
garden's a special thing.
Yeah, exactly. And when this weather starts warming up, and I love flowers, a seed packet of forget-me-nots you can sit there easily at Staples and get a sticker with your name and contact information on there, right? It's a conversation starter. It's good for prospecting, farming, prospecting. When I've been talking about prospecting, and there's many, many different ways, talk to your manager. We have some heat maps that are really, really cool that show you where there's the next potential group of people that would be selling their house, right? That's prospecting.
Dive a little bit into that.
Yeah, your manager can provide it. So if you look at, usually if a house goes on the market and it sells, there's probably another few on that street that are coming next.
Yeah, it's
So
it's
a
thing.
It's a thing. It's a thing. It's a thing. It's a real thing. It's not fake news. It's real.
Yep.
So you can, and your managers can help you with this in looking at specific areas, especially if you're newer in the business, right? Where's the next thing? So prospecting, sending a mailer, walking by, say, hey, did you get my card? What have you? Always the goal is to get face-to-face. So when we do these hard copy things, it's just not a one and done. You want to get face-to-face, which
Right.
brings me to farming, which is different. It's that takes a while. Farming takes a while. My favorite story I ever heard about farming is when I was a newer agent, one of the experienced agents came in. He said, it happened. It worked. I got a call. They said, Steve, you've been sending me calendars for 10 years, and now I'm calling you. I'm ready to list my house, because he farmed that. He was constantly, every 3 months, hitting that neighborhood, right? And nurturing that farm. Farms take a while to grow, right?
Yeah, and I think that's a really important point, is that farming is a passive activity, passive prospecting. Your proactive prospecting is your picking up a phone, calling somebody, getting face-to-face, belly-to-belly, walking a neighborhood. That's probably you'll get your greatest results from that. But farming is a passive activity, which really should be there, but don't send one mailing and think that, I didn't get a call and I spent $300 on this mailing, and well, I'm not going to do that again, because it's something that you have to do consistently for years, and eventually it pays off.
You can own your neighborhood.
Right.
You can own your neighborhood. I did that.
So it's something you do in coordination with all these other forms of
Right.
prospecting.
So when I meet with an agent in a coaching session and we discuss farming, I say, tell me what your budget is. They're like, well, what should I do? Should I do this many homes? I said, farming requires consistency. And I think sometimes
That's why it's important for every agent to have a business plan.
Exactly. So with farming, what is my budget for the year? What can I dedicate? And then we need to hit at least 4 times, okay? And so how much money do we have? Now let's decide where we're going to get the most bang for our buck for that. That means we can farm, maybe it's 50 houses. There's no right or wrong in this. Maybe it's 50 houses. Maybe it's your immediate neighborhood, right? And what is it going to be in the spring farm? Maybe it's the cool little scratch ticket, right, around St. Patrick's Day. maybe it's seeds or maybe a beach ball in summertime. Maybe my favorite that seems so old-fashioned and it's been going on since the beginning of time is the Patriots calendar. One year I didn't send it out. I was too busy. And there were hundreds of them sitting there. And I went in the grocery store, and they're like, Mary, you didn't send the Patriots calendar. So we think, oh, everybody's looking on their phone. But there's something about walking by the refrigerator and seeing what time the game is on, right? So, the Patriots. So farming. And then there's one other part of farming that people overlook. So that's like geographic farming. There's demographic farming. I have an agent in my office that it was very popular young man, grew up in an area. All of his friends are doing very well for themselves, but they're spread out throughout New Hampshire, maybe even northern Mass. And he may go get together with them and play a basketball game or something like that. They don't know what he does and his success. I said, just put them in a demographic farm and send them something. When agents mail something to a consumer or to a friend, they think they're successful, right?
Right.
We lose track of that in doing our job, but they do. They're like, "Oh, I got your calendar."
It's a thing, but when an agent is going to, when an individual is going to get their license, they tell everybody they're in the real estate. They're going to go get their license, become a real estate agent. Once they become a real estate agent, what do?
Nothing.
They clam up. They feel like they shouldn't tell their friends that they're getting into real estate, which is the absolute opposite.
Exactly, and you don't have to be pushy.
Yeah.
People are worried about being pushy or being like, pick me. You don't have to do that. You can do something like send, when you first become a realtor, to all of your friends, all of your sphere of influence, all the people you went to school with. I found a postcard. I found my new home. Now let's find yours. There's nothing pushy about that. Right there, you've shown what you're doing, and then you need to follow up and keep going. I'm going to go back to prospecting for a second, Gianni, because one of our managers sent an email today of information from Jimmy Mackin. Pay attention, guys. Pay attention, guys. Here's a great idea. Jimmy Mackin sent this out. So send 10 of the same day. Within a few minutes, she got this back. Here's what it is. So go to your CRM, right? Go look at the address of their house and go pull up what Zillow says the Zestimate is. I know we all get negative at that, but the public looks at the Zestimate, and give them a call and say, hey, or a text. I hope you and your fam are doing well. I was on Zillow earlier today checking out your home at whatever. Since you bought in 2019, Zillow estimates your home values has increased $517,500. It has you at $1,237,000. I have my own opinion, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. Somebody you know, right? It's a great way to have a conversation. You get the two Jimmys. You got Jimmy Burgess and you got Jimmy Mackin. These ideas, when we pass this out, try it.
Right. And you know what? People like to feel good about themselves. And when they heard that their house just increased in value $500,000, you just made their day.
Yeah, you don't have to pick me. Let's sell the house. Get the kids out of it. No. It's a conversation, an easy way to have a conversation.
Right. All right. Well, Mary, you're fantastic. I love you. You opened my eyes to a lot of different ways to prospect and optimize your bio today. I'm excited for when we meet again, which you promised me you're going to go into.
Right, marketing.
All
so
right.
All we're doing is, number one, we're going to be found, right? We're going to make sure that people can find us. If it's to go ask us to come and do a listing presentation for their house, or if it's to look for their new buyer's agent, they went online, they looked, we showed up. That's beautiful. The next thing is prospecting. So what? What is the goal of prospecting? To get an appointment, to get in front of somebody. And our third part is going to be how to be the best, how to win the listing.
Awesome.
Okay.
I look forward to it.
Yep.
And thank you for your time today.
And it's a pleasure, Gianni. You know I love you.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Is that good enough?
That was really good. Good job, guys.
Okay.
Now, let's not be a stranger. You can't do this like 2 years from now. You got to like,
No.
we'll do it next week or something like that.
Yeah. Well, next week we have the sales meeting, and then
Yep.
we have. Are you still doing those reviews with the
Yeah.
agents? Okay.
Yeah, you
So
should
that's
have it
it.
in-
And then when are you going
doing
to?
the reviews with the managers.
I mean, with the managers.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Same thing. You know what I meant. And then don't you go on your trip?
Yeah, we do. So, I mean,
When
well,
is
like,
that?
let's, it's Monday through, we come back Wednesday night. So,
All right. So maybe when you get back.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.